Hello, gamers! What's up? Y'all know, I saw y'all a bit ago. Yep, back here with another stream, and I forgot what I was going to do after this. First game stream, but I won't be until Sunday. I think, yeah, Sunday. So, yeah, I mean, tomorrow will be we tomorrow to mini season time to tap for song second field for that. Anyways, so another that's a series I feel not that bad, but if you react to these two that we say have react to one that's with animates, yeah, doing a series and animates massive stream on one. So yeah, because why not? I think of this coming the last Tetris series of families and just why because yeah. But again, the next title of Tetris coming out until I think 7 months until next year. So yeah. But I got some good back on one of my boy here by Huey. I've seen that thing another one from Tower Tapers, I think that's what this is for. We basically they can debunk our series they've done. Then the Deltarune families have episode of Chapter 5 called Bus Stops to be interested. So yeah. It was I know I could have some longer. It's like the debugger video was 46 minutes long. So yeah, it's good. I guess off the here was this. There was something in Demons. Like I think you know what it is. So I know what that's talking about. That's talking about we go to like that room chapter 1 and 2. He's the onion boy from Until Waterfall. Second here's a song cut from the sea. Everything that's talking about I forgot what name is, but the mermaid killed that saying that counter and until the waterfall, after the waterfall. So yeah, I think it could be that because she heard as a voice in the hospital, but it couldn't be that. I don't see. Anyways, yeah, I can also get a face up to next time that's ruined until I don't know. Maybe we'll get a Christmas newsletter. Maybe December. Maybe I mean makes sense. December. That's that. So you know all that y'all get it. So maybe get a Christmas newsletter. So yeah, but I don't know. From what Fox said, the title's gonna be gone to like late next year. So yeah, that made me think it will May or two in next year, almost more likely to in next year. So yeah. Anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get straight into this. They did put that here by here for you on this. I might at the start actually more here for your time because I like his series. So yeah. I'll wait for it to load in. Alright. Good. Alright.
Ever since Chapter 2 of Deltarune released, we've learnt of something lurking in Hometown. A presence that we've yet to fully see, that's only hinted at through one minute detail. A strange facet of the lore that we've heard whispers about ever since we played Undertale. So let's dig into this mystery, shall we? So, you may have already guessed, but today I'm following up on a topic that I briefly mentioned in my previous video. I'm going to be talking about the song that's coming from the sea. This is something that Onion first mentions in Deltarune when you visit them in Chapter 2, and they describe it as their secret. They say they sometimes hear a song at night, and it's just a little piece of a song, and it sounds like it's coming from under the water, deep, and apparently, they say, they've heard this song before, coming...
I wonder if it's like kind of Undyne somehow. If they did it all night in chapter 3, take Undyne. But I think we definitely know that there's physically gonna be a dark world that's quite like underwater. That's not be type like type 5 dark world. Basically, it's to make a fun to be away side of Asgard's Fire Garden. So maybe the next Star Wars after will be tasks be underwater where Onion Boy is. Maybe I don't know. I just think I'm Onion Boy because I just like climbing that. Sorry.
From the sea. And they tell us that they think it's not a new song, but they can't remember. So they then go to investigate this song further. That's quite a lot of attention brought to this song, huh? It's almost like it's supposed to be kept in the back of our minds for some reason. As of Chapter 4, right now, we haven't seen Onion again since this exchange.
Which was weird because we did have to walk around home with Topper, but we did see him Topper, so and it's weird because I'm not gonna take it. I wonder if I'm not gonna take it to Darkwood where Onion is hearing the song.
Chapter 3, we don't set foot in hometown at all, so there's no opportunity to interact with them. And in Chapter 4, Onion just doesn't appear when we approach the lake. Although we don't see Onion, this enigmatic song is mentioned again in Chapter 4, in one of the last scenes you can access in the chapter. After sealing the Dark World in the church and approaching the lake, Susie says that she can also hear a song, which to her sounds like it's coming from the other side of the lake. Susie's dialogue here might just be referring to the fact that this song sounds like it's coming from quite far out, not necessarily on the land at the other side of the lake. If you're a truly brain-rotted Undertale and Deltarune lorehead, you may already know one other place where this song is mentioned. One of the dialogues that the river person can say in Undertale when you're fast traveling is, "Did you ever hear the old song coming from the sea?" Presumably because of the similar phrasing here, this could be referencing the same or a similar song to the one that we hear about in Deltarune. So, what can we surmise from all of this evidence? Well, first, it seems like there is indeed a song that is actually coming from the lake at night. It seems like it's coming from deep down within the lake as well. So those are pretty much all the concrete facts that we have. The rest is all theory or educated speculation. We can probably assume that there is a similar song in Undertale's world, as it's referenced by the river person. Alternatively, you could interpret this as hinting that the river person actually could originate from Deltarune's world, and the reason they have knowledge of this song from the water is because that's where.
That's what Hobbit said was the next one. That's when I played that before. But to basically recap that, basically, I did put it of it's somewhere else, which came from Undertale, placed it to chapter 4, and it doesn't make 100% make sense if Sans did come from Deltarune. Because again, Mr. Norris boss fight and told that he wants to go back to his over, but instead going to the past the period it does pay him more either because he doesn't come from comes from Deltarune. So yeah. So I think good say take it from with reports 100%.
They come from. I mean, that does line up somewhat with other cryptic lines that this character has, such as the ones about Sans and Gaster, as well as the fact that there is some existing precedent of Undertale and Deltarune characters hopping worlds. Their cloak that they wear does look awfully similar to what Rousey wears to begin with. To be honest,
people think it's Rousey the Whiffle person, but I don't know. Because, two of some was saying, missing out before that, maybe there's such a way Toby likes to, crawl hoods. But I don't know, man. But we never did see him push his face. So, I think this is when goes into Nightfield, where the person debunks, because one of the series, Nightfield said, quizzes on Frisk. So what if Undertale is like another Dark World? And it's just still all in. That would be interesting though, wouldn't it? No. Possibly. Alright, but we'll get to that in the next video.
River person side of this whole mystery isn't too important to what we're talking about today. I just thought they should be mentioned in this video as it does link into the topic. Perhaps we can dive deeper into what exactly the river person's deal is in another video. Next up, I'll give you the crux of my theory. I think it's very possible that this mysterious song from the lake has its origins with an equally mysterious character who we know is very important in Deltarune, December Holiday. It might sound a bit crazy at first to just say that. And even
I
I
didn't
thought
really
there
catch
couldn't be
it,
too much evidence for this, but as I kept digging, I became more and more surprised at all of the connections there are here. First off, we know that December is a musician. She has owned a
Yeah.
guitar, which is a crucial item to the plot that you cannot miss on a normal playthrough. Tenor calls her a musical prodigy before the Lightner's Live minigame, and I think it's very likely that she and Asriel were both part of Blood Crushers the band, who supposedly wrote the song Raise Up Your Bat. I've theorized before in a previous video that December is most likely the one behind the lyrics of Don't Forget and Raise Up Your Bat. I've got separate videos on both of those songs, so watch those if you want to hear the overwhelming evidence for those facts. So, December, the musician, is also behind two of the other important songs to the narrative of Deltarune, so it might make sense that she's also the one behind a third mysterious song that we know about. December is the character in this game who has the most links to music specifically. There are other musical characters in the game, like Chris, for example, but December has been consistently linked to music throughout the game so far. This is a fact that we are supposed to know about her. Also, I'm not sure how intentional this part is, but the song Onion Hears is described as a piece of a song. Technically, the version of Don't Forget that we've heard so far is only an excerpt of a presumably longer song. This could very well be described as a piece of the full version of Don't Forget. Almost like there's a parallel between our experience and Onion's experience. Could this be a hint that the song Onion is hearing is actually Don't Forget itself? I don't think that's too much of a stretch, since Don't Forget is literally the main theme of Deltarune. Next, we've got to talk about the lake itself. We know that water and the ocean has been consistently linked to the Dark Worlds thus far. The particle effects that we see in the Dark World, the dark fountains, the sound effects that we hear, the visual effects that we see all over the place. All of these things point towards water. Now, the lake is the only body of water in Hometown, which I think automatically increases this location's importance to the plot, and its relation to the Dark World as a whole. And the added mystery with this song coming from the lake keeps this location in the back of our minds for later. So I think the lake as a location very much creates a link between the song coming from the lake and the concept of the Dark World.
Why would death be underwater? Like, what? Like, why would death be underwater? Like, is that... Well, I guess because if you look at the files, there's a killer like talks to us like, hey, where are you? And maybe that's what all when I took Undying. Because I like the fish and the fish water and all that. So maybe, so, and the Dove Gets the Dove Ground with you, the dog get like unrocking bits guys like dog, you know. So yeah. But I mean, no, it was missing a dead window and a cold and all that, but I'm missing a window like there's like snow and now it's like water, so what? I know. No.
December is totally the night, by the way. That's what I believe. Or at least some part of her.
I just got that. I was still thinking that Death's mom was the night, but I forgot that there was a theory that Death could be the night. Wait. If I what I was saying, remember, one night took Undyne. And that's a fish who was 5 underwater. I don't, maybe because that could be where Undyne is under the lake where Onion is. It makes sense because remember, Onion is connected better on that because they were both in listed from Whitefall and Undertale. So I think I don't know. I'm trying to play this more and more. Dang it.
Is the night. So she already has a massive connection to the Dark World. We know she's gone missing, and we know that the main plot of this game is involving the Dark World, putting 2 and 2 together, it kind of makes it obvious that in some way December's disappearance involves the Dark World. I have a feeling it's not that simple though. There's this unused dialogue in the code.
I will. Well, my Halloween one is in my audio. Someone can know and hear me. What is Undyne saying this? I think did I say that before in the stream, I serious stream. But if like Undyne saying this, like I was gonna take him by the night. She would be there like, well, this is my have that put. Well, my hello, anyone? Somebody out there? Anyone can hear me? Talk. So talk here. Someone can hear me. Say something, please. Look, see, episode says if Undyne is the one saying this. Because he got taken by the all night, it's half the sweet. Episode says if Undyne saying this.
Oh. Which I think is likely December. This dialogue is specifically.
No one can hear me, can they? I can't stop. To be honest, I'm if so I can hear myself. So quiet here. That's true. I hear something like scratching. That could be the night, like scratching his sword, on the door. I think it makes some more sense if it's Undyne saying, because Undyne got taken by the wrong night at the end of chapter 3. I take it to the bunker. So yeah, those bunker doors you see. Yeah. So let me talk about if it's Undyne saying this.
Marked as unused in all caps and has been updated in every.
Why this kid's going? Ugh. What place anyway? How'd that get here? I think I've had that question many times already. I always have the nightmares or to the darkness. The lights out of the doorway. The doors haven't behind me as it goes back. Is this that nightmare or what's I was dreaming? That is what would make more sense if it's Undyne saying, because he would have was thinking to the bunker by the night. She would have started those clothes or say I'm sat behind, let's say right here, the doors stands behind me, and that's it goes black.
Chapter so far, so it's pretty clear that this dialogue has been intentionally left by the developers of the game.
I waited to watch that for 2. Oh my gosh. Oh, here, okay, movie and y'all. I'm gonna lose track of the time. Has it been days, hours? So show me it's been years. I might believe them. Before the sun came up, as a meaningful things happened that made time meaningful since they perfectly on our TV in this place. I'm not gonna drink anymore. Definitely noise. That's class noise. I thought I was here to convert. Don't hear me for that because I was listening. And when they feel else, thank you. That makes no sense if it's Undyne saying that. So yeah. But the question to me is that the thing with not about Undyne in this world is that he's literally like police officer. It's literally nothing about being a police officer in this. Like Mrs. Perfectly on that TV with woman was his death. But no, I'm gonna say it's Undyne. That's why all this because got taken the wrong night in chapter 3. So yeah.
For data miners to find. But if we think December is the night, that creates a schism between Des being the speaker in the unused code and being the night at the same time. Surely that's not possible, right, for her to be in 2 places at once? I think there is a solution, though. It could be that the night is December's body, and her soul or consciousness or essence or something could be what's actually trapped in the code. And her speaking in the code could represent the fact that she is trapped in the depths or a dark world adjacent place.
Yeah,
so effectively, in this interpretation, it's her body that's being piloted to create the night, which enables her as a character to be the night, being all cool and floating around, and at the same time being this meek little character who's scared and alone in a dark place. So, then, what if the song In the Lake is actually coming from Des, but not the version of her that's the night? It could be coming from the version of her that's trapped in wherever this dark place is, that we get a glimpse of through the code. The version of her that's with us in the dark. It's pretty clear that something weird is going on with December. We know that Lighteners transform in some way when they enter the dark world, but December going from a regular deer-like monster to the night is a pretty drastic change in comparison to the change that Chris, Susie, Noelle, and Birdley go under. I feel like there has to be something different about December's body or soul to make her appearance change this drastically, and the fact that it seems like the night can exist in this form in the light world as well. Additionally, as I've already briefly mentioned, it seems that this sound is coming from below the lake, deep down, and it has been implied multiple times that the dark world exists in some way physically below the light world. We have this prophecy mural depicting the endless night physically sleeping below the light world. The fact that the dark fountains seem to erupt from below whenever they are created, and the fact that Chris and Susie seem to physically descend when entering a dark world. So it doesn't seem like too much of a stretch to say that this song from the lake might be Dark World in origin. I've pretty much already suggested this, but this is yet more evidence. Now, there is another strange sound that seems to be emanating from deep down below Hometown. This whirring sound, which can currently be heard in two locations, near the shelter and in the holiday basement. When sped up, this sound reveals itself to be the same sound we hear during entry number 17 in Undertale, as well as what Chris hears when they attempt to use their phone in the Dark World. Needless to say, this sound has quite a few links to the Dark World and our favourite former royal scientist Dr. W.D. Gaster. Of course, we know from a fact that there is a dark world inside the shelter, which could explain the noise being heard there. The holiday basement is slightly more weird though. There are no immediate signs of a dark world in this location, so my assumption would be that because the dark world's presence seems to reveal itself the lower down you go in the world, we start to hear faint traces of the dark world in the basement here, which is one of the physically lowest places that we've been able to access in the light world so far. So here comes the connection back to the lake song. My question is, could this sound coming from below and the song from the sea actually be one and the same? This idea does kind of fall apart on the face of it from the fact that in no way does this whirring sound like a song at all. Alternatively, and I think this is more likely, this could be a hint that the song coming from the lake and the whirring sound are originating from the same location, from deep down below. And if nothing else, the existence of this whirring sound in low down places just adds to that idea that the dark world is physically below the light world. So as I previously discussed, I have the belief that some aspect of December's soul or essence or mind is trapped in the dark world. The specifics don't actually matter too much here. Whatever specifics I give will most likely end up being wrong in some way. From wherever she's trapped, I think, is where she's speaking the unused dialogue, and where the vocals of Don't Forget are coming from. So the fact that we have another song here that is seemingly originating from another dark world-ish place is very sus to me. So, well, that's the theory, or idea, or whatever you want to call it. The song.
Finish out this video. I want to go look at comments here, but it says that online is the one, because I think it makes sense 100% if online is one that wrote the stuff in the files. Because you guys think I'm thinking all night. Hace potigo to land at info. Wait, I bad. Yeah, I don't remember that. So it's had a problem since under the lake. Wait, what? Okay. There's a on the lake. Big John still. Of course, Big John could be a pasta. What? Honestly, with being no. Good baby Jesse is no grave for this when she was tired. No, because when it says no grave for top of the top two genocide route, since I think it's never used it before, so yeah. I don't know. Don't never 6 feet, okay. remember that. My favorite person that got mad was Father Castro. Huh. I guess that was the whole feel bit for me. So yeah. Now I think Undyne. That was the same sound. The sound has a dogwood and sing the fungus. They get big. I think Bucketown says beneath the town, but it's why Creek Dollars now town because Bucketown or the dogwoods. Okay, well, Roots keeps on up. Yeah, true. There's even a song in our soundtrack called Roots. So, yeah, that's why we're here close to one of those tunnels on the ground. I don't know. All right, here we are. The sound. The noise. This is the sound. Dogwood of his before, and with this 25, we're doing it because Scott Field discovered the open dogwood and the camel recorded sound. Oh yeah, why? Because they're saying that like on that entry, like first time in fear and trustworthy. You two think? Could be gas doing this like Bunko. No. John is sleeping. I'm here for the make sense. That one was Dogwood. I don't know. Nobody missed not dying though. Come on. Nobody not dying freaking mind the freaking saying. Really? Whatever. And my series that that's one that wrote that code makes things gonna get taken when you by the night in chapter 3. So yeah. Anyways.
Song from the Sea is December. I'm not sure if there's too much extra December lore that we can actually glean from this idea, but it could just be an explanation as to what this mysterious song from the sea actually is. And it might mean that this song is very important, and maybe the lake as a whole is very important. Could hint that the lake might become actually plot important later. If nothing else, I think all of these connections I've made have pretty much solidified that December, in some aspect, is trapped in a Dark World adjacent place. So of course we'll have to wait until the next installments of Deltarune come out to see if anything I've said here is right. I'd like coming up with these ideas just for the fun of it, even if they're not right. I would like to thank my supporters who were credited at the beginning of the video. Also, I'd like to say thank you for 10,000 subscribers. I put a community post out about this, but I wanted to thank you in a video as well. It's a crazy number, and I never kind of thought that I would get this. Thanks to each and every one of you for subscribing. Onwards and upwards. If you want to help support me and the channel here, I have a Patreon page that you can subscribe on. Similarly, you can subscribe here as a YouTube member. Anything you can support would help greatly, but don't worry if you can't. A like and subscribe on the video also helps greatly. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in whatever the next video is.
The kids I was good at the end of the shows. Alright. On to the big one, the bucking time, y'all. 40 plus minutes. I'm gonna go take dinner, but on my
Hello, my name is Jaru, and I am a Deltarune theory crafter who has made over a dozen major theory videos about this game. However, all of those theories came out before the release of chapters 3 and 4, so today we're going to briefly review these theories in order to figure out if they've been debunked, confirmed, or something in between. To be more precise, we'll be slotting them into one of these 6 tiers on this tier list. All of these tiers are pretty self-explanatory, so without further ado, let's dive in. First up, we have my Is Deltarune an Alternate Reality or Alternate Timeline video. Now, this theory is the first theory I
know, because again, if I think 1% true that saying originally did come from Deltarune, that would mean that Anto came after Deltarune, so it means that yeah, that's it's false.
Ever made on my channel for Deltarune, and I can tell you right out the gate it's going into sound, but the reason for that is that I have since made a sequel theory that basically says I disagree with everything in this video.
Yeah.
It could technically still be true. We don't know that it's busted, but I basically argued that I thought Deltarune was an alternate timeline in the same universe as Undertale, whereas now I don't think that's the case. So technically, It's still possibly true, but I don't really believe in it anymore. Then we get Who is Chris? This video goes over basically all the possibilities regarding Chris's identity and whether or not they are a Deltarune version of one of the humans from Undertale. And specifically, if they are one of those humans, which human are they? Are they one of the 6 human souls? Are they Frisk? Are they Kara? Etc. And long story short, I concluded that Chris is likely the Deltarune version of Frisk, which is not necessarily the most popular theory, as most folks think that Chris is the Deltarune version of Kara, given that they grew up alongside Azrael the same way Kara did in Undertale. So it's certainly not my most well-beloved theory, but I would pretty comfortably put this in still viable. We simply haven't learned enough to hard prove one way or another, or even hint one way or another.
Because we know that Chris was from the Wild and I will see that in the chapter 4 or chapter 3. No, I think chapter 4. I see that Wild Knight keeps talking to Chris. And that's why I think Wild Knight is that's his mom, because we see, I said Noah's mom. No, that's why I said Noah's mom is a knight, because see Noah's mom, her name is but being really nice to Chris, but being mean to everybody else. So I think the reason that was nice too is on Chris, because they're working together. So I'm wondering what's now if Chris is Kara. So yeah. The Kara's messed up.
Character the Chris is, like, they could still be just a totally original entity, in which case this is busted. However, the bottom line is we know so little about Kara and Frisk that we really can't say for certain who Chris resembles more. Initially, because Chris seems to love chocolate, it made it lean towards more Kara, but then in chapter 3, it was revealed that Chris's favorite food is actually pie, which leans them more towards Frisk. And there's other small details that you could argue one way or another hint towards which character, but I would say it's all very subtextual at this stage.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's gotten stronger. I wouldn't say it's gotten weaker. I'd say it's still viable. Not much else to say on the matter. Then we have Deltarune Magic. This is a video that is enormously complicated and is not really a single theory so much as it is dozens of smaller theories woven together into a larger narrative. In fact, I'm gonna have to double check. I'm gonna actually have to pull up the video in another tab and remind myself exactly all that I argued in this video, because Lord knows it was a lot. Okay, looking at my, from what I can tell, the key conclusions of the video were that I thought that the human-monster war still happened in the Deltarune reality. One monster acquired enough human souls to become a god. That god became known as the Angel. The Angel sealed away all magic and memory of magic in another dimension. The magic dimension became known as the Dark World. The only way to access the Dark World is through using determination to cut the barrier between worlds. Cutting the barrier causes magic to pour into the light world in the form of dark fountains. And this intense magical power, possibly combined with your determination, is responsible for bringing the Dark Nurse to life. Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And quite frankly, there's no hard confirmation one way or the other regarding how this exactly works. We haven't learned any more of the ancient history of this setting. We haven't learned any more about the true identity of the Angel. There's certainly hints to support this potentially, like the fact that Gerson's the old man has so many combat abilities kind of implies that he was a warrior at one point.
Yeah.
And there really would only need to be a warrior if there was a war to be fought. So, there's some potential interpretations that could argue it's gotten stronger. But as far as the nature of the Dark Fountains and their magic and how it's tied up with the Angel and all that, it's still entirely up in the air. No way to say one way or another. So I'm putting this in the still viable tier. And this, you're going to see this as a running trend. Anything that involves the grander scope like story of Deltarune, like involving Chris or Gaster or the Angel, any of that stuff is going to probably end up in Still Viable purely because we are still only halfway through the game, and the game isn't really interested in exploring the deep lore as of yet. Then we get to my boy, the flagship theory of this channel. What is Ralsei? Or as it is better known as, my Azrael's Dust theory. Now, I'm going to have to kind of talk about this very tentatively regarding where I place it, because for those who don't know, I'm currently working on an Azrael's Dust 2.0 theory, or Azrael's Dust Theory 2.0. I don't know how to phrase it. Basically, an updated version that changes some things and alters it in a few ways in order to incorporate all the new lore and information we've gotten in chapters 3 and 4. It's a pretty big deal theory. I've made a lot of progress. I'd actually hoped to get it out this month, and I probably could if I tried really hard, but it would end up being like in the last day of the month, and I wanted to get out a couple videos before the end of November, so that way I'm not completely broke during Christmas. So here we are. Anyway, point is, I don't want to really talk too much about where I view this theory because I don't want to spoil the contents of my sequel to this.
Yeah, makes sense. And I probably did not want to see Ratchet when that series does come out. So yeah, I better look out for that.
But to clarify, this isn't just the Azrael is dead. That's not the whole theory. The theory is Azrael died. His dust became Ralsei. His soul was absorbed by Chris, and Chris is possessed now by Azrael. And in turn, the player is actually only controlling Azrael, which is why we only control Chris part of the time, because Azrael only controls Chris part of the time. And there's some other smaller details sprinkled in, but that's the gist of it. And I will say that I think parts of that theory have gotten stronger. There's some elements of it that have gotten stronger, but other elements have gotten weaker. So as a whole, I'm going to actually put this in gotten stronger. And I won't say any more for fear of spoilers, but I will say I think this theory still has a lot of potential. And if it's wrong, then it wasn't wrong because I was completely off course. It's wrong because I missed a key detail, and it was actually something very similar to this, but not exactly this. So as a whole, I still think this theory has some elements of it that are still have a lot of potential. So, which may come as a surprise, considering there's some content in chapters 3 and 4 that a lot of people think puts some pretty major holes in this, and they're not wrong on some fronts. There's some chapters 3 and 4 presented some major challenges for Azrael's Dust, but it's a complex topic, and that's why I'm making a whole video about it. So I'm just going to put this here for now. Honestly, there's an argument that's only in the Still Viable tier, but I think it's a little complex. So I'm going to put it here, though, for funsies. Next, we have the Who is the Knight theory. This video had me going over every character in Deltarune at the time, and as well as all the major characters from Undertale who haven't appeared in Deltarune yet, and discussing which ones are most likely to be the Roaring Knight. And then, however, as far as theories go, at the very end, I came up with a theory that is it's pretty funny. It's half true and half busted.
Huh?
What am I talking about? Well, you see, the theory that I came up with was that there would be an entity, a Darkner, created from the dust and the hammer of Gerson Boom.
Wait. Did they actually react to one of these streams? I think I did react to that off stream, but I think I've done something forget that to react to that. I forgot what fears I had to. How many CBS streams have I done, y'all? Like 10, 20, 40? I'm not sorty. If I'm not sorty, I have a problem. So yeah, maybe refresh a few other streams because that sounds familiar, but I don't know. Does me forget that to see that streams I don't freaking remember.
And as we have seen, that theory was completely correct. Even the detail that the Darkener in question would be incredibly powerful, that also turned out to be true. But there was one other pretty important detail that got busted, which is that I thought that this would be the identity of the Roaring Knight. And
No.
that is pretty...
no,
I mean, technically, it's not busted because we never actually see the old man and the knight in the same room at the same time.
If it was having ghosts and stuff, freaking I could be like, why you take it, people? Like what?
So technically,
again, Gustin did appear in Waterfall, Fondine. So that my right to
this could still be
I don't
true.
know.
But it probably isn't. It's probably busted that the old man is secretly Gerson Boom. You may know this theory better as Oberon Smog. Oberon Smog being an anagram of Gerson Boom. And I thought he might have an anagram because I thought he was a similar Darkener to Ralsei, and Ralsei has an anagram of Azrael as his name. So hence an anagram of Gerson Boom, aka Oberon Smog. So where should this theory go? I mean, the idea that he would be the knight is almost certainly busted. However, the fact that I called the existence of the old man at all is probably going to be like my only proper victory in the lifetime of my channel as a Deltarune theory crafter. So I'm putting it in true. I don't care. I'm taking the W. It's probably the only one I'm ever going to get. So I'm taking it. I was right. There was a Darkener made from the old man, or from Gerson's dust and hammer, and he ended up being a cool, powerful dude and a knight. He was a knight. You know, like, so it worked out. And in fact, this face I ended up putting on here is remarkably similar to the face of the fake Gerson that we fight. So, yeah, I'm giving myself that. I don't care. Fight me. Then we have the truth of the shadow crystals. I think this theory was basically me saying that I think Deltarune is stuck in a time loop.
Huh?
And that's what the shadow crystals are hinting at. And like that's why characters like Sham and Jevil and Spamton have become nihilistic or gone mad. It's because they think nothing matters because everything's going to get reset. So why care? And there's more details to it involving the angel and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure that's what this theory video is about. I'm going to double check just to be sure. Actually, it's a little unclear. I would have to probably... This may have just... I might have technically hinted at the time loop in Deltarune Magic, but just for the sake of clarity, we're just going to say this is about the origins of the status quo in Deltarune theories, whereas this is about the time loop and the shadow crystals and the secret bosses and how they've been affected by all that. So, you know, we're just going to focus on that. So, time loop theory, how has that fared? I would say it's only gotten stronger, I'll be honest. There's more and more. Like, as I was playing the chapters, I was just like, Jesus, there's so much more. The existence of the prophecy is super, like, specific. And it's so specific that it's almost hard to believe that there isn't a time loop. Like, there's tons of small things throughout the new content that hint at this more and more and more.
I think it's what.
But just the fact
that I'm not saying all the time, but I keep think of I seem saying like have like over and over and over, but we don't see that. Like the tabs, like if it don't, I guess, because the tabs like keep house like where we like keep going to Dark Wars and stuff. Like we get up, we go to school, go to Dark Wars, and yeah. So maybe, but I don't know.
That characters are so convinced that the world is kind of destined for darkness and doomed in some way, just sort of further hints at some grand dark secret that hasn't been revealed yet regarding the fate of the world. And I think a time loop is what makes the most sense, and I think the evidence has only gotten stronger. So that one goes and gotten stronger. I think it is extremely likely that Deltarune is a time loop. I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time, but that's what I think for now. Then we have the Blood, Souls, and Sands theory. Let me double check to make sure I remember what this was about. Okay, so the gist of this theory video, it was expanding a little bit on the Deltarune magic theory, and basically saying that the angel is responsible for Deltarune monsters being so much tougher, and thus being able to have and giving them physical bodies, which is why they can bleed, and also why they can wield determination. And furthermore, that Sans from Undertale originates from the Deltarune reality, which is why Sans also bleeds. It's because he has a physical body.
100%. Yeah.
Susie does. And the theory in this video is basically talking about what I think Sans' origin is, and specifically how he...
Wait. Go back to the thing on Deltarune. Does it see bleed too? Because we see when he falls from that big tower, chapter 2, does he bleed, I think. So, yeah.
The Undertale reality, I theorize that Deltarune Papyrus is going to bite the dust, and that's going to motivate Sans to go to another universe where he can gain enough power to come back and break the time loop and save his brother. Very, very fan-fiction-y, not going to lie. But technically, none of this has been debunked. None of this has been disproven so far. In fact, the detail of the monsters having physical bodies that can bleed and can wield determination has only gotten stronger. As in chapters 1 and 2, it was implied that characters like Bertley and Noelle could wield determination to create dark fountains, but we never saw it. But in chapters, I want to say chapter 4, was it? Yeah, that was when Susie did it.
Yeah.
Susie created a dark fountain, confirming that monsters in the setting do have enough determination to create dark fountains, and the fact that they can wield determination at all implies they have physical bodies. And we know Susie has physical bodies because she explicitly bleeds on screen. So part of this has gotten stronger. Most of it is endgame stuff that we just don't know yet. So and honestly, there's regarding the fate of Papyrus specifically, I'm not convinced I was in the right there. As time's gone on, I feel like I think Papyrus might have a different fate than the one I envisioned here. Deltarune Papyrus, that is. So I'm not really sold on that myself anymore, so you could argue I've partially disowned at least part of it. But I haven't properly made an alternative interpretation yet for the fate of Deltarune Papyrus, so I wouldn't say it's officially disowned. So I guess combined with the slight gotten, considering part of it's gotten stronger, part of it feels a little disowned, and most of it just hasn't been confirmed, I'll throw it in still viable. Then we have the Undertale Deltarune multiverse theory, which is basically the theory that replaced this video. In short, I went from thinking it's an alternate timeline to an alternate reality, a parallel reality, to be precise. And that's more or less the gist of it. It just goes and still viable. We don't know. There just isn't enough cosmic lore to hard confirm one way or another. Elemental pairs. This is basically just me theory crafting what a bunch, because basically there are certain elements that are paired with certain other elements, and I was basically predicting future elements and technically, and what their pairs would be. And I haven't actually gone through all of the elements and all the elemental pairs to see what has been added and what has been confirmed or deconfirmed or whatever. So, and I don't really want to right now because that would require digging through the code probably, unless Half-Bred Chaos is finally not the word I was looking for, unless Half-Bred Chaos has fully covered this topic and released a video further, because they're the ones who like really clued me into this stuff in the first place. But I guess I'm just gonna take the cheap out and just say still viable, because technically, even if not all of these have been revealed or confirmed, technically every single element that I thought of and every pair I thought of is each their own small theory. And I'm sure, and even if none of them have been confirmed yet, there's still like multiple chapters coming, so technically it could still end up true. I'm just gonna throw it in still viable. It's not that interesting of a theory. Ooh, Chris's death. This theory is basically me arguing that before the events of Deltarune, Des, aka December Holiday, was the previous wielder of determination and the previous controller of the timeline. However, she then created a Neo-Dark Fountain, which then trapped her in the Giga Dark World, wherever Gaster is, or something like that, and the darker yet darker world. And upon getting stuck there, she could no longer reach her save file, which is why she disappeared, and why the timeline has now fallen into Chris's hands. Beyond that, that's about it. Chris fills the role Des used to play, in that they are now trying to fix the save the world, whereas Des used to be trying to do that. Beyond that, as far as like that theory goes,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think parts of it may still be true. I mean, saying Des fell into a dark world and, got trapped or corrupted or something is probably a fairly believable theory, given what we've seen and given how popular the theory is that Des is the Roaring Knight. So that part of it is at least partially believed by the community already. So I don't know. I feel like there's elements of this. I'm working on a theory that touches on Des a bit, because I think I need to do a theory on Des at this point. I didn't want to. I thought Des was going to be a much more minor character than she turned out to be. So, but yeah, so I'm working on a theory, but until then, I won't say this is disowned per se, or even that it's gotten weaker. I mean, I think a lot of this is simply unknown at this time. Saying that Des had such a major role was probably a bit out there at the time, but given what we've seen from the Roaring Knight, saying Des played a major role once upon a time is honestly not that unreasonable. The idea that maybe she followed a similar corrupting path to the one Azrael did in Undertale very much plays into the parallels. So there's evidence for this theory being true. And there's elements I don't agree with as much. So still viable. I'm sure we're going to get to a gotten weaker one eventually. The Gaster files. This is basically just me looking at some files and theory crafting about what they might be, what they might mean, what they might be hinting at. There was like 6 different theories in this video, but so I'll give them a look real quick just to see how they stand.
Because
okay, the first theory, I'm just going to go through these theories one by one. Theory 1, that the intro sequence where you make your goner and you talk with Gaster,
I still think Rossi is the goner we make, because
Jeff, as I've chosen to call him, is you're not playing as Chris when you make that goner. You're actually playing as a different character, from the distant future, a character who isn't Chris and who was lured into this situation under false pretenses by Jeff, and Toby Fox was playing a trick on us and trying to make us think that scene led right into Chris waking up in the bedroom, when in reality that scene is from the far future. It was a flash forward rather than a flash back. So as far as that theory goes, it's still viable. Not much to say. We have no clue, honestly. Let's see. Theory number 2. Oh, okay. So the second theory is just that I think that the voice who talks to us in the interesting ones is Gaster. Crazy. What a theory. But specifically, I theorized that it is the Deltarune version of Gaster and not the Undertale version of Gaster. I think it's also still viable. We still just don't know anything about Gaster. What a shocker. Let's see. Theory 3. Theory 3 is basically just me arguing that the game over sequence where Jeff talks to you is him talking to this other character from the future, and that Gaster sent them back in time or something to possess a body and something. All completely unverifiable. Still viable though. So there's that. Next theory, theory 4, I think we're on. Okay. Theory 5. The unknown human from the future had their body put into a machine, which is the machine that's being referred to in the code. And the drone audio file is specifically the drone of that machine. And after putting their body in that machine, Jeff sent their soul back in time to possess a new vessel, the Goner vessel. And it is there that they are performing a scheme to try and break the time loop. Yeah, still viable. There's nothing confirming or denying that. Okay, the next theory in this is that Jeff lives inside of a dark fountain. Dark fountains enhance the abilities of those who are close by them, which is why we only unlock our super abilities during like the final fights against King and Queen when we're standing right in front of a dark fountain. And lastly, that dark fountains can have an emotional manipulation effect upon those who are exposed to them for too long. And that Jeff specifically is using this to manipulate specific characters towards his ends, namely King, Queen, people like that, and enhancing their less savory qualities in order to push them to accomplish things that he desires. So that's interesting. Still completely unverifiable. Very interesting. I know, not the most thrilling commentary, but that's the issue with so many of these theories. So many of them are about things that are so end game or so far in the future that there's just not enough information to confirm them or deny them. So yeah, it's just too early. But hopefully we can get something going on. Let me see if there's any other theories in this dang Gaster Files video. Okay, theory 8 in this video is that Jeff created the key gen that Spamton gives to Chris to unlock the basement, and that Jeff programmed the key gen to alert him if it's used, and the friend, the smiling face Cheshire Cat entity with yellow and pink eyes, works for Jeff, and Jeff sent them to see who accessed the basement, which is why we can see the friend.
I'm thinking now. I'm sorry. I'm being honest about falling asleep. I'm being honest. Okay, if you said it's not emotional commentary, leave us see about the podcast of how much about to fall asleep. That's what I was saying much, because I don't much about this because it's confusing me, and yeah, I know this one thing to type out this mind facing is Mike. At 10 I get missing bringing up in chapter 3. But I don't know. Okay. All right. Let's get to the next series. We try to fall asleep. We get to the next series and I come back. We still have 18 minutes out of the field. You have to one Desmond fan Mason and I'll do it. They get tomorrow. that video with my right to me and Matisse that full song wicked video. Then Sunday y'all will get that playing my plus games full stream. Then after that, that'll play for me for a while. Probably go like I'm gonna tell you something. I'll probably not playing with PS3 live stream or something soon. I don't know. Anyways, I need a break if I fall asleep. But a lot of times I was about to die, so I can put on charm so yeah. Be right back. Do a break. Yeah, I'll be back in like 15 to 20 minutes. See y'all in a bit. I must put on my baton so I'm going. Be back soon. Bye. For now. I'm back. I tried to turn my light on since I was falling asleep. So yeah, you go figure this out. I hope I not fall asleep. Alright. I hope it's had enough talks about how it's not good. So I thought it was like 63%, so I'm gonna have to end up with to my bed. So yeah.
Basement in Deltarune Chapter 2. I would say that theory's maybe gotten weaker considering the friend seems more connected to some of the main plot stuff rather than background caster stuff. So that's probably the first of these theories that I'd say has gotten a little weaker. And lastly, theory 9, I think we're on. Basically, the song that plays in front of fountains is called The Holy because dark fountains only exist because of the tinkering of the angel. And the angel is by definition a holy entity, ergo, the holy. Still viable, not much to say. Like, there's 9 theories in this video. One of them's a little weaker. Most of them simply haven't been confirmed or debunked. Next, we have hyperlink blocked, and this theory is basically me discussing what hyperlink blocked might be a stand-in for. And I theorized that it's stand-in for the word love, because love has a lot of various important connotations in these games. Hasn't been confirmed or debunked. I think there's some hints as to the true nature of hyperlink blocked in Chapter 4. One of the philosophers talks about hyperlink blocked.
I remember that.
I haven't done enough digging to fully confirm one way or another. And there's certainly some evidence in some of the tertiary stuff like the Spamton sweepstakes to kind of push away from the theory that it is love. So the fact that Spamton uses the word love during the Spamton sweepstakes once does kind of hurt the theory a little. So I'll say gotten weaker. You know, you could argue it's still viable, but I don't know. I want something in these other tiers. So yeah, gotten weaker. It's still very viable, but not necessarily as concrete as it once was. Des is Ness. This theory basically argues that Ness and Tintin, which are the protagonists from Earthbound and Mother 1, as well as their families, were direct inspirations for the Holiday family, with Des being inspired by Ness, and then like characters like I think Tintin's mother is named Carol, and at the time it was not yet confirmed.
I know it's not people watching. What's up,
the
Watson?
Mayor's name is Carol.
So
it was a theory in and of itself to even predict that her name was Carol, and the fact that one of the characters from Mother was named Carol and was the mother of a character named Ness, or it was actually the first character, Tintin. So the mother of Tintin was Carol, and Tintin is basically just Ness 1.0, and Ness, etc. So like, it's just some theories surrounding that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was dumb. Oh, maybe
not much to say on that front. The fact that it was confirmed that Carol's name is Carol certainly strengthens the theory that these characters are based upon some Earthbound and whatnot characters. Oh, and it also ties into Toby Hawkins' Earthbound Halloween hack.
Yep.
As in that game, Ness is very noticeably missing from the plot, and has been replaced with some other hero. And that's kind of a parallel to how Des is completely missing from the plot and may have been the hero of her own story prior to the events of Deltarune. So I would say this has only gotten stronger. So yeah, that's an interesting kind of smaller scale, like origins of inspiration for characters kind of theory. Then we get the not the player theory. Basically, I'm arguing that everyone just assumes that the soul is a stand-in for the player. I don't agree with that. I think the soul is meant to be, well, Chris's soul, but also contain an entity that is possessing Chris diegetically in the narrative. And while the player is controlling the entity possessing Chris, that entity is not us, and that entity is their own character in the setting. And that's the gist of it. I don't believe in the idea that this is just a stand-in for the player and nothing more.
No. Maybe, I don't know.
Has that concept gotten stronger, weaker, etc.? Yeah, it's gotten stronger. just the existence of the weird route is so destructive for the belief that the soul is just a stand-in for the player, because it is so niche and so specific what that route requires you to do that it just doesn't make sense for it to just be, oh, this is just what the player wants. It's like, why do I have to do these extremely specific things with Noelle and to Noelle? Why do I have to corrupt her? Why do I have to give her the thorn ring that I get from Spamton after freezing 20 darkners or whatever? It's like, it's so hyper specific. You can't argue it's a manifestation of the player's will when it's just forcing us to do a bunch of things that we could neither conceive of nor desire. If this is meant to represent the player, then we would be given the option to corrupt different characters. We could corrupt Susie. We could corrupt Noelle. We could corrupt, I don't know, Jockington. Like we'd have the choice to corrupt more than one person. But since we're forced to go down a very narrow path, it just doesn't make sense for the soul, which rather explicitly possesses Chris and turns their hair red and does all this crazy stuff. And also during the weird route in Chapter 4, we rather explicitly are prevented from making meaningful choices at times.
Yeah.
Like during the conversation with Noelle after we repossess Chris, we are given a bunch of choices that don't impact the outcome. And then like Susie's like, oh, later she's like, well, y'all weren't talking about me, were you? And it gives you two options that are blank. And it's like, that if that's not screaming that the soul and the player are two very different separate entities and that our influence is separate from the entity's goals, I don't know what does. So I would say the idea that this is just the player is weaker now than it's ever been before. So, yeah. Dark clock theory. This is one of my simplest theories. Just basically, all the clocks in the hometown are broken and are all pointing at different times.
Oh.
However, I noticed I came up with the theory that maybe the hands of the clocks are pointing at future dark worlds.
Maybe.
Due to the reality warping nature of those things and the time loop or whatever. And yeah, all the hands are pointing towards dark worlds that either already exist or were likely to exist in the future, such as the one that was made in Chris's home and one that is likely to appear in Asgore's shop. Some have argued that this theory has been weakened or debunked because none of the clocks are pointing to the church. However, it's, since every clock only has two hands and there's going to be probably at minimum like over 8 different dark worlds over the course of this game, that means that, they can't all be pointing to every single possible dark world. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go into somewhere like Caddy's house or, somewhere like that shows us a new clock with an arm pointing towards the church. So I wouldn't say that debunks or disproves anything. It also hasn't. We've got even more evidence that Asgore's shop is going to be a dark world, so that actually makes it stronger. The lack of a clock pointing towards the church is potentially makes it weaker. I guess we'll just throw it in still viable. I don't know. Actually, it's getting too large. Let's just throw it in gotten stronger, because I can. Then we have this theory: the hope streams, light, death, magic, emotion, dark life. I think this is my dark matter theory. That's right. Basically, I theorize that when you go into the dark world, you're turned into dark matter, and this kind of matter is very different from matter in the light world, in that it is transformable. Like your sword can transform into a shield. Enemies can shapeshift. And then that's all because their bodies aren't made of regular matter. And is instead more of a manifestation of the soul kind of thing. So basically we kind of have souls or bodies similar to the magic bodies that that monsters had in Undertale, which is why monsters are able to suddenly wield magic again when they enter the dark world. But Chris can't, because Chris is a human. And humans can't use magic. Although it has since been confirmed that humans used to be able to wield magic in Undertale, but they used it all up in the war. I don't know how that works. My brother, my brother in Christ. I don't know how that makes sense, but it's canon, so you can use up your magic, or at least humanity can. I don't know if monsters can. Maybe that's why monsters don't have magic in Deltarune. Maybe they used it all up. I don't know. I'll have to dig into that. The live stream, the 10-year anniversary live stream or whatever was, it had some crazy stuff that I am honestly still processing.
It did.
So yeah, as far as this theory goes, I think it's just about the dark matter. Let me double check it just to be safe. Okay, yeah. And it basically is just about the various ways that the light world bodies and dark world bodies differ. And, like, you know, dark world, Chris and Susie can fall from extreme heights without harm, whereas they obviously couldn't do that in the light world. And hopes and dreams play a big part of it. Like, basically the idea that the personalities of darkness are informed by the hopes and dreams, aka the sort of spiritual radiation imprinted upon them by Lightners. Just a whole bunch of more cosmic stuff that just isn't hard confirmed or denied at this stage. Let me just get this last theory.
So
this is about to stretch the tier list. This is another still viable, hasn't been confirmed, debunked, etc. Which just leaves the Earth is bleeding, aka my life stream theory. This holds that this is kind of a sequel / debunking, or not debunk, but alternate interpretation of the Deltarune magic to an extent. It basically argues that the darkness that that makes up the dark worlds, that makes up the dark fountains, is derived from the soul of the planet, and that the soul of the planet is so powerful that, you know, if you damage it and you release its blood, aka the dark fountains, into the world, it completely warps reality, which is what creates the dark worlds. And
I'm not confused. I'm talking because all these are confusing me, and I'm really tired that I deserve to blame for this, man.
Has been hinted at before, with stuff like songs called "But the Earth Refused to Die," or like references to the Earth's heart beating, or the Earth drawing its final breath, stuff like that. Very interesting. I quite like this theory. It's one of my. It was the last theory I made before the new chapters came out, and yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. It draws heavily from Final Fantasy VII and its inspirations.
So yeah.
But I don't think that makes it any less likely to be true. And it like connects up with a bunch of other things from Final Fantasy VII, like the Titans, because Final Fantasy VII also has Titans sent forth. And I theorized like the Titans were guardians sent forth by the Earth to fight off infection, effectively fight off whoever's wounded it. And considering that, I think the song or there's something in the code that refers to the Titans as a guardian, that actually further supports the theory. So I'm just going to throw it and gotten stronger. Yeah, because I'm just that cool. Anyway, so in short, none of my theories have been busted because I'm just so huge-brained. And everything I say is correct and true, except when I say it's no longer true, and that's only because I found a better truth. I'm joking. The real reason that none are busted is because I'm being kind of cheeky with Who is the Knight. You could honestly very comfortably throw this into busted, but I'm just, for funsies, I'm going to throw it in true. And the reason nothing else is really all that low on the tier list as far as being busted is because most of these are about things that we just haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
We're not going to find out about the inspiration behind characters for a while. We're not going to find out about the true nature of the entire universe for a while. We're not going to find out about Sans or Gaster or Chris. or the multiverse or the nature of the Earth and the Titans and all that. Like, we don't have it yet, and we won't until next year, maybe longer. So it's just like most of these theories, they've gotten, some of them have gotten stronger, some have gotten weaker. Some have gotten stronger and weaker in different parts and different categories. And at the end of the day, I'm very excited to see what else is in store. Obviously, those who are more critical of my theories or know a thing or two about Azrael's Dust think that there should probably be even more down here in Busted. But the reality is, we are, what we know about Deltarune and for certain is far outweighed by all the things we don't know. So, for the time being, this is probably the best tier list I can give you regarding the accuracy of my theories. I hope it was interesting to revisit these theories, and I look forward to coming up with more theories in the time between now and the release of chapters 5 and 6. Thank you all for watching. And I think I'll go ahead and give a quick thanks to all my supporters on Patreon for continuing to fund me during these very difficult times.
Of course.
Quite frankly, YouTube has just dried up as a financial source of revenue. Whether that's because of changes YouTube's made to the algorithm, or because Deltarune interest has just died down, or because I haven't uploaded any theory videos or something. I don't know. It just hasn't been doing great. So I owe you folks on Patreon a whole heck of a lot. So thank you all very much. And thank you. Let's see. I'll insert. I'm going to have to look it up in a minute. And insert thanks for specific patrons here. A special thanks goes to E-Roll, Ash the Fox, Limping Penguin, and Tibby Fitzhugh for supporting me on the Noel tier. An extra special thanks goes to Amber and Uberon for supporting me on the Rousey tier. And last but certainly not least, a huge thanks goes to Spindrift for being the only big shot willing and able to support me on the Spampton tier. I, as always, am indebted to all of you for your incredibly generous support. I hope I can continue to make videos that entertain and distract from all the silly nonsense happening in the world. Thank you all again. And with those wonderful people thanked, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Like if you enjoyed the video, comment if you've got something to say, subscribe if you want to see more. And as always, have a fantastic day.
All right, well, that's tutorial, so that could be look out for the Dust 2.0 videos. Yeah, I don't think I'll link a few, so that's what I'm gonna say. But let's get to this. One of the family making a funny district as I get tired about fall asleep. Oh, let's have to upload. Let's go upload. All right, here we go. The one that's with Fat Mason. Yeah, of course. But I guess what? Yeah, why? That happened at the time. So that's all my goodness. That's nice. Music just cut out. There we go. You think gonna happen? What about the boy cheese? These families keep getting better and better, like, you. I like that. I like that. I'm just gonna put one up past. I like that. Enough of this, Susie. What? What, Susie? What? Well, I mean, not Lily. Wow, see. Oh, Susie. Give those out to yourself, please. This is like so weird, but I can remember that this is Batman, not Will. Like, oh my goodness, Batman is amazing. Dang. The one and only. Was that it? That was so freaking good. Oh, the family can get better and better, I swear. It's almost weird how we made this all, man. Okay, that's 2 months ago. So yeah, September. So that's really good to know about parents wise that take yeah. It actually it's a terrible. What samples between about not one full price just getting you all out. Yeah, because this was added to his Apple dressing, so yeah. I was at the Ask of thing. What's driving serious? What? Making such a awkward as well he said in the festival. Oh, oof. I was see if there's anything else since this video. Like a sequel to it. Probably not because it took him a long time to make the first one, but I want to just see quickly. No. They did a fan-made Type 6 intro, so yeah. Because I don't know what Top Secret about yet. So yeah, but amazing video, amazing fan-made, so yeah. And again, the podcast, if you like it, that one, I'm going to talk about that for this one. I'm going to say it's going to make a follow-up video to that, a few weeks, 3 days, and I'll be back to that when it does come out, on these streams. But, I think I'm with that because, I mean, that makes sense to know if Astros does return to Rousey, And I think he said that and then Rousey so rich was and Rousey's return us, but Astros return us, I mean the Astros return us. But I don't know. But the Super the festival that we created for the game is Rousey. So yeah, see about that. But yeah, cool stuff. The Hero by Hero series, so I still think I nice one that was stuff in the code because the one I took her and but yeah, see all that kind of next year when the next title is released. So yeah. Anyways, remember tomorrow is my free round to remember teach that return for song taking field this Sunday being open on the podcast team that do it for a few weeks for this town because they did a few weeks break off town so I could put on again like they back to when I did that testing out to I did that to him tapped to top here first. Yeah. Anyway, so much awesome. Yeah. Time for me to do my outro. I must watch this guy gonna get it. I must watch it and until tomorrow. Good game, gamers. Oh yeah, I can't also forget to. I'm telling you. Good game, gamers. And until tomorrow. Deuces. Remember to stay determined. Have a good night, y'all. Bye, gamers.